competition is called the ETFGlobal Portfolio Challenge. It's a semi-annual, student-based, online investment competition with thousands of students competing each year. The goal is to construct a portfolio composed of strictly ETFs using virtual money. Each student is given $100,000 of virtual cash and must attempt to create the top-performing portfolio in a 4-month period. The competition was brought to my attention by Professor Loeb of the Business Department during the first day of his financial derivatives class. He urged us all to sign up and incentivize participation with bonus points added to our final grade regardless of performance. He saw it as a great opportunity to gain familiarity with ETFs and also trading in general. The most important thing I learned while taking my first finance class was the concept of diversification. Essentially, all that means is don't put all your eggs in one basket. With investing, as with most other things, you want to spread or diversify your risks across the board. You don't want to be weighted too heavily on any given asset. That way, if one ship sinks, your whole fleet isn't compromised. Another principle would be volatility. This is a measure of risk in the financial world. Usually higher risk leads to higher reward, but positive results are not guaranteed. It can be measured by variance, standard deviation, or beta. They all three look at past behavior to predict what should happen in the future. Beta takes the first two even further and measures the risk in relation to the market, usually through the S&P 500. Also, if you're going to be buying and selling something, it's kind of important to know what it is. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund, and its value mirrors a collection of securities that make up an index. Some examples of indexes include the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones. ETFs make it possible to trade an index to get a multiple of its return without having to purchase every single component of the index. So if the S&P 500 goes up by 5%, SPY, the ETF that directly mirrors it, should also increase by 5%. First, I did some research. I searched for the riskiest ETFs I could find, and the result was Bull and Bear, Leveraged Gold Miner, and Leveraged Junior Gold Miner ETFs. They produce a return that is positive or negative 3 times the index. Because of this, they tend to fluctuate between 3 and 10% per day. With these, I would either win big or lose big. Because there's no actual money on the line, I assume the risk. The tricky part was deciding when to buy and when to sell. If you can get in and out at the right time, there's a lot of opportunity for big gains. First and most important is risk tolerance. Because we're using virtual money, there was no incentive to be cautious. In any situation, it is important to look at how much risk you're willing to accept for a given reward. Also, it is important to diversify. I did not make my whole portfolio out of leveraged gold miners. I made sure to diversify using multiple sectors. One strategy is to hedge away market risk. Market risk is the sensitivity of your portfolio to market swings. To do this, try to make your beta as close to 0 as possible. A beta of 0 means that your portfolio has no apparent correlation with the market as a whole. This tries to take big macro events out of the equation. This competition really pushed me to look into portfolio building a little more. At the beginning, I didn't really know where to start. There are thousands of ETFs out there to choose from. For my situation, I looked for high risk. The difficult part was actively choosing when to buy and when to sell. It was exciting to see myself in the top 20 of over 1,000 students that were participating. Even though I'm just starting to dive into the world of finance as a junior, it was interesting to learn and to compete. There's both luck and strategy involved, especially for a short-term portfolio like this. For placing in the top 25, I got invited to attend a leading ETF industry conference, the ETP Forum in New York City. This should be a great opportunity to learn and to network. I'm definitely glad I participated, and I encourage anyone who's thinking about it to give it a shot. The worst that will happen is that your portfolio doesn't do too hot, and you get to learn about financial trading and ETFs.